Good morning to all 10th students. I welcome you all to the new academic year 2021-22. We are going to discuss the first chapter in 10th English, Prose, his first flight. Before entering the topic, we are going to think over some general questions related to our life. I hope every one of you would know to drive bicycles. Can you say when did you learn driving it? I hope that when you were at the age of 6 or 7, you learned driving it. At the time of learning bicycle, newly, surely we would have fallen down and hurt ourselves. Only then we would have mastered the art of driving bicycles. Secondly, have you watched how a newborn baby learns to walk? First of all, it takes some steps, then it falls down. Once again, it stands and falls down. Gradually, it takes up the art of walking. So, what do we come to know from these two activities? Before knowing any new activities, it is quite natural that we would be facing some challenges and overcome some difficulties. This is what we are going to discuss in the first lesson with the title His First Flight. Let us introduce the characters of the story. The important character in the lesson is the young seagull, which is the hero of the story, His First Flight, and it has his parents, a father and a mother seagull. It also has two older brother seagulls, and there is a younger sister seagull. All of these seagulls live together as a family in the mountain at a nest which is very close to the sea. I hope that you know where do seagulls choose to live. Seagulls are the birds that usually feed on fish and other seafood. That's why they usually live near the sea water in the mountain. Among the all seagulls of the family, the young seagull that is the hero of this story is quite different because it naturally is a coward. It feels very afraid to fly from the nest. But the other seagulls flew from the nest in search of food and to practice the art of flying. But the young seagull is entirely different. It is fully filled with fear. It comes to the edge of the mountain, has a look at the vast sea that is extended below the mountain, and once again goes back and settles safely inside the nest. This continues for some time. The parents, the father and mother seagull, threaten the young seagull that if it didn't fly, it should die of hunger. And also, it was motivated very much by the parents, but it has no effect on the young seagull. It continues to be afraid for some time. But the young seagull sorrowfully watches from its home the whole family having a happy time in the opposite mountain. It also could see all the family members appreciating one of its older brother because it caught the first fish, a herring, in its lifetime. So all the seagulls circled around the older brother and they were making a loud cackle. Cackle means sound to express their happiness over the older brother catching the first fish in its lifetime. But the situation of the young seagull was very, very sorrowful. When time went on, it was extremely hot inside the nest. Now, the young seagull has to face two problems. One is extreme hunger and the unbearable heat of the sun in the nest. For the want of food, it was walking here and there by walking with long steps inside the nest. But what a pity! All it could find to eat was only the dried eggshells from which itself and the other seagulls were hatched, and then a dried mackerel's fish tail, which was not suitable to be eaten by the young seagull. When it was looking at the opposite mountain, the father seagull was sharpening its beak in a rock. His two brothers and the younger sister were having a comfortable sleep in the opposite mountain. Now, the intention of the young seagull was it liked to be noticed by the family members, but nobody has thrown a sight at the young seagull. All were busy with their own job. The only person to watch the young seagull from the opposite mountain was the mother seagull only. The mother seagull was pecking at a fish standing in the opposite mountain. The young seagull wanted to be noticed by the other family members, so it was pretended to be sleeping by opening one of his eyes and standing on one leg. On seeing the poor condition of the young seagull, the mother seagull was slowly approaching with a fish at its beak towards the young seagull. The young seagull was very much overwhelmed with joy because it was going to get the much wanted food. So it was making a sound of joy, ga ga ga, ga ul ah. But what a surprise! The mother seagull, which was heading towards the young seagull with a fish, did not reach the young seagull. It stopped in the middle of the way. It was simply halted in the air. Now the young seagull was very much shocked. It could not understand why his mother did not reach him. But what to do? The young seagull was dying with hunger. So, without intention, it was simply falling down from the ledge. But what an unbelievable surprise! Unlike its start, it was not falling down. It was slowly flying in the air. Initially, it was a very fearful experience for the young seagull, but it was not falling down. It extended the wings and flapped its wings so that it was flying gradually. His mother flew in front of the young seagull, and the young seagull was following the mother. Like this, the young seagull made his first flight. From the activity of the mother seagull, we have to understand one fact. What the mother seagull did was right. The parents of nowadays should make the children work towards their wishes. They have to allow the children take risks and face challenges. Then only they will know the struggles of life. Let us come back into the story. The mother seagull was the first one to listen to the painful cry of the young seagull. Now the young seagull was flying very happily, but the initial stage of the flight was very, very terrorizing because it could feel that the heartbeat was going very rapidly. The experience of the first flight of the young seagull was very terrible for him. However, it has made his first flight. Now it was wished by the other seagulls. All the other family members who were in the opposite mountain were now joining the young seagull, and they were flying around the young seagull with a cackle. Cackle means cry. It was to wish the young seagull which has succeeded in flying. Now all the family members were flying together in the sky. The young seagull now could see a huge green sea because the sea water was covered with small plants and twigs. Now the next problem for the young seagull was how to land safely on the sea. It slowly decreased the rate of flying and it was landing gradually down and down. It thought that it will be sinking into the water, but it was not sinking into the sea water. It was simply floating on the sea water. First of all, the feet of the bird touched the sea water, which was floating, and then the chest of the seagull touched the water. Now it was comfortably floating on the sea water. It was also surrounded by the other family members, his parents, the two older brothers, and the younger sister. They were now once again making a proud cackle as a way of wishing the young seagull which has succeeded in making his first flight. So, this is the end of the story. Dear students, from this story, we understand that every one of us has talents and abilities, but we are afraid to expose it. Only when we overcome our fear, then only we are able to feel our real talents and real potential. Every one of us are blessed with some talents and abilities, but it is our fear and doubt which stops us from expressing our talents. So, the moment we overcome our fear, we will achieve success in life. Thank you, students.